As conceived in 1632 by Portuguese printing press operator André Felipe, boxing was a gentleman's game in which two men would square off and regale each other with stories monotonous for days on end, until one of them fell to the ground from boredom or exhaustion. Over the next few years, the new sport developed a respectable following of a few hundred local socialites.
Splitting paths. I guess I'll go down.
It was Felipe's son, André Felipe, who developed what he called the punching strategy in 1637, after seeing a schoolboy strike another in anger, causing him to fall down. When André Felipe challenged the then champion, British expatriate Sleepless Bill Bishop, to a match, Bishop was the odds-on favourite. You can imagine his surprise when, while he was describing what he had had for breakfast that morning, Andre walked up and thumped him in the neck, sending him down for the count in the parlance of our time.
Oh, Dragon, your tail is so big.
While it was universally agreed that the boy had violated the spirit of the game, officials were unable to find any actual rule that punching violated, and were forced to let the victory stand. This upset caused an uproar in the boxing community large enough to spill over into local newspapers, which drew the interest of many outsiders to come see what all the fuss was about. The newcomers were enthralled to engage in these borderline barbaric displays of human strength and skill, and the rest is history. After a few spoiled sport school moms, single-minded about safety, added the padded gloves, of course.
Well, it's good to know the real history behind boxing. Just like
Today's
it was.
boxing enthusiasts fantasize about a newcomer that would rock the ring the way Felipe did. Calcification of the modern rule set has essentially locked the punching strategy into place, but it's easy to get caught up in the fantasy. Young scholars with big dreams often enter the ring with their crazy new trick, usually a variant of hypnosis, and though they've achieved the occasional victory, none of the gimmicks have been robust enough to make it to the big time.
You know, never mind on the jack. I should have gone some meth from the 7-Eleven by my school. That would have been a lot better in hindsight. Definitely the meth, yep. We're just exploring an underwater wonderland. Learning about the roots of boxing.
The real wonder, though, is that Andre Felipe's original vision of boxing is still around. Gentlemen's boxing clubs can be found in cities all over the world. You can visit one most any day of the week and see two erudite gentlemen exchanging pleasantries in the ring. Most people only come to watch a few hours of a match and then leave, but every once in a while you'll find amongst your elders a stout fellow, a die-hard fan, who perhaps witnessed that historic battle between Felipe and Bishop, who for love of the sport must stay to witness the last glorious seconds of wakefulness slip away, only to return to fight again another day.
I guess I found the ship. Command module, is that it? The rumbling seems to have stopped and you feel the intense downward pressure let up. After a moment you calm down enough to start taking in your surroundings for the first time since the seemingly dormant vessel sprang to life. Command module. The walls of this circular room curve to meet at a point that must correspond to the curved nose of the outer hull. Lining the walls you see a porthole, a glowing display, and a control deck. A ladder leads aft. Elf, you don't know how to get started. If you don't know how to get started. That's not a letter, that's a bracket. Type help and press enter. What next? Help, please. This is a story that you interact with by entering simple English commands. Some examples: look around, or just look. Okay, we got examine, or just X, inventory, get wrench, turn knob, push button, enter room, climb stairs, open box, read pamphlet. Finally, remember that the adventure gamer's maxim: if it's possible to do so, it must be good and wise. That is true. Look. The walls of the circular room curve to meet the point that they correspond to the curved nose of the outer hole. Lining the walls, you see a porthole. Go porthole. That's not a place you can go. Examine porthole. Through the porthole, you can see a background of stars shifting as the ship gently spins. The constellations are all unfamiliar to you. Look, constellations? No. Go back? Oh, they understood as far as go. Look. This is... I really appreciate the text-based games, and I love the amount of creativity that people had to put into them for them to only be text-based. But I can't deal with this, fam. This ain't my forte. Wall circular room curve to meet at a point that must correspond to the curved nose of the outer hole. Lining the walls, you see a porthole. Go on display. Look, display. A glowing green display shows a map of the galaxy with a destination you don't recognize mark and an ETA of about 3,000 years. Looking closer, you see two on-screen buttons labeled route details and new destination. Press new destination. The nav computer dumps you into an interface to so abstruse that before you even consciously process what's happening, you hit the back button and are at the main map again. Use route details. You'll have to be more specific. Okay. Look, display. Route, push, route details. Screen spells forward slew of steps such as spiral, spinward, at spathy system, far faster than you can fathom. I don't get what you want from me. Okay. I really hate to find the guide for this, which I did, but you'll have to be more specific. Move ladder, is that it? Go up ladder? Captain's quarters. This looks like an all-purpose living area. A sleeping pod sits next to a nightstand. A ladder leads to the floor. An oriental rug lies in the center of the aft wall. Move rug. Moving the rug, you discover a recessed hatch below it. Your score has gone up by 2/5 of a point. Okay. Use hatch. Go down. Hatch. Hatch is closed. Open hatch. To work, you have to work it a bit, but after you give the wheel a few spins, the hatch pops open. Enter hatch. Engine room. Nearly every surface in this room is covered with a sticky pink goop, which seems to be thicker near a gray machine sitting in the corner. A hole in the wall exposes a nest of wires. There is a hatch leading back to the captain's quarters. Use engine. Look engine. Get can? Get can. You twist the can and it eventually comes loose, but your Rip the insulation off and an adjacent wire in the process, and it begins sparking as it comes into contact with the chisel strut. You glance down at what you've taken. Huh, it really is a coffee can. Huh. Get tape. You rip off the tape out of the machine. The note comes with it, revealing a control panel. Use tape, wire. Use tape on wire. You wrap the tape around the bare wire, insulating it. Your score has gone up by 1 2/3 points. Fractions! Use control. I'll have to be more specific as to what you want to do with the control panel. Look, control panel. Most of the control panel is rendered unusable by the sticky pink goop. You see a row of what look like radio preset buttons, all but 2 of which are stuck. There is also a big red lever. None of these are legibly labeled. Use button. We'll have to be more specific. Turn button. You see it fixed in place. Pull lever. Oh, the machine whirls, dispensing mom's specialty, a voice says. Pink goop streams out of the faucet, splashing against the flat platform and getting everywhere. A couple drops land in your mouth and you recognize the flavor. Bacon milkshake. Bacon milk. Okay, atmospheric anomaly detected. A different voice says, whirring sound ensues, and the bulk of the goop is sucked into invisible vents, leaving just enough goop floating around to be gross and annoying. Atmosphere purified, the voice says triumphantly. What next indeed? Put can on spigot. Apparently. Place the can below the spigot. Then we gotta pull the lever again. You pull the lever again. What's next? Pull lever. Dispensing mom's specialty. Gets everywhere, but the coffee can does end up filled. You grab the can. Good. I don't know. I don't think I could have figured all of this out on my own. Gee, this is... Oof. Now I can push the button, right? Push button. The erase button clicks into place and the previously selected button pops up. Local currency, says a robotic voice. Get Storm Kid. Get currency. Do I pull the lever again? The machine whirls, dispensing local currency. A voice says a thick stream of Sorkmids shoots out of the faucet, bounce off of the flat platform and scatter around the room. Sorkmids. Spend a few minutes gathering the scattered Sorkmids. Enter. Hatch. Put can in hole. You bring the can close to the hole and the hole sucks the pink goop right in the nearby gauge, fills it up. Open drawer? There's a drawer. Open drawer. Open the drawer, revealing a thick manual. Get manual. Take it. Read manual. Oops. Say read manual. It's a manual for the navigation computer in the command module. After leafing through it, you feel confident you understand how to use the interface well enough to set up a route back to Bug Mars. Enter hatch, right, to go back? No. You definitely pilot a course back to Bug Mars. The engines roar and you feel G-forces shift. The ETA reads 57 3/5 years. Huh. You run a diagnostic and determine that the vast majority of the time is going to be spent going through bug costumes. Luckily, you can sleep through most of it. Yeah, you lie down in the sleeping pod, closing the lid, and you drift off secure that in 57 and something years you return to Bug Mars, a wealthy frog. How did we spend? That was a lot of time. When you wake up, you're clearly not in your sleep pod. You barely glance around to get your bearings, and you appear to have been sleeping on a heart-shaped bed covered with roses. A voice comes from the next room. Awake already? A wispy human figure in a bathrobe and crown walks in. She bends over and kisses you on the nose, and suddenly you feel your body shifting. Yay, she laughs and claps, and you realize that you've been transmogrified into a human form. Of all the things, I don't think any of us are about to be ready for what comes next. Oh, gee. Oh, hello. Oh. Watch out, man. They're eating your fruit. I can't do anything about this. I don't know what to do. You awake with a start. What a horrible dream. You call your friend Draggy, the flying dragon, just to talk to someone. Yellow, Draggy says, I just had the worst nightmare. You explain the situation. I'm not sure that a support group for human bug eaters is really going to get much of a following, Draggy ponders. Maybe if we drummed up a little publicity first, just... wait, hold up. Wait, no. No, don't do this to me. 5 minutes later, Draggy shows up at your door dressed to the nines. He tosses a frog tuxedo at you. Put this on, babe. We're running for president. Hi. Frog bedroom. Hit me. Oh goodness, that was loud. Are you a shoe? Candidate Hop, what say you to allegations that you're not a natural born citizen, that you're under 35, and that you're a frog? Oh! 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 Oh god! Oh god! Oh god, if I had practice I could do this, but you're just... Oh! 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 This is not... Can I use the was now? Oh, you smoked them. You're shooing for president? Yeah, Sir Clarence Gastropod, my old friend. I guess we're in a president movie now? Ceiling eater, okay. Numerators and denominators, frog fractions, okay.